Oh no! The POS terminal is offline.
Emma has just received an urgent call from her Brisbane cafe. Customers are lining up, but the POS terminal has lost connectivity and card payments are failing. With Emma based in Sydney and her business expanding across multiple locations, traveling to each site whenever an issue occurs is simply not practical. Welcome to the third webinar in Emma's Coffee Shop series. In this session, we'll explore how VPN connectivity and remote management can help Emma securely connect her cafes, access devices remotely, and keep her business running smoothly from anywhere. Emma has successfully extended her coffee business and opened a second small cafe in Brisbane. This is exciting news, but it means we need to link the two shops efficiently. In this session, we will focus on securely connecting two cafe locations using a virtual private network, also enabling remote management on the router so users can access it remotely when needed, preparing for an online shop setup with DrayDDNS, and ensuring robust security by following DrayTek best practices. Let's start with securely connecting Emma's two coffee shop locations using a LAN-to-LAN VPN. Now we will set up a basic IPsec VPN tunnel between the Sydney Cafe network and the Brisbane Cafe network. In this example, the Sydney Cafe LAN subnet is 192.168.1.0/24, and the Brisbane Cafe LAN subnet is 192.168.10.0/24. Both sites also have their own public WAN IP addresses. We need to decide which site will be the VPN server. Since both sites have public WAN IP addresses, either side can be the server. For this example, we will use the Sydney Cafe as the VPN server and the Brisbane Cafe as the VPN client. Emma needs a secure link between her original cafe and the new Brisbane location for shared resources like POS systems and inventory management. This is where a VPN comes in. We are setting up a site-to-site VPN. This type of VPN creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between the two router networks, making them act as one seamless private network. Before creating the VPN profile, we need to make sure the IPsec VPN service is enabled. In the latest firmware, VPN protocols are disabled by default. So first, go to VPN and Remote Access, then Remote Access Control Setup, and enable the IPsec VPN service. Let's start with the Sydney Cafe router. Go to VPN and Remote Access, then LAN to LAN. Enable the VPN profile. Give the profile a name and select Dial In. Under the Dial In settings, select IPsec Tunnel, IKEV1, IKEV2. Then enable Specify Remote VPN Gateway and enter the public WAN IP address of the Brisbane Cafe router. After that, enter the pre-shared key. Make sure this same key is also used on the Brisbane side. Next, under TCP/IP network settings, configure the local and remote networks. For the local network, enter the Sydney Cafe subnet, which is 192.168.1.1 with subnet mask 255.255.255.0. For the remote network, enter the Brisbane Cafe subnet, which is 192.168.10.1 with subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Once all settings are entered, click OK to save the VPN profile. Now let's configure the router on the Brisbane site. Before creating the VPN profile, make sure the IPsec VPN protocol is enabled in the Remote Access Control Setup page. This time, we will create a dial-out VPN profile because the Brisbane Cafe router will connect to the Sydney Cafe VPN server. Go to VPN and Remote Access, then LAN to LAN. Enable the VPN profile and select Dial-Out. You can also enable Always On, which keeps the VPN tunnel connected permanently without any idle timeout. Under the Dial-Out settings, select IPsec Tunnel using IKEV1. Then enter the public WAN IP address of the Sydney Cafe router, followed by the same pre-shared key configured earlier on the Sydney side. Next, go to the TCP/IP network settings section. For the local network, enter the Brisbane Cafe subnet, which is 192.168.10.1 with subnet mask /24. For the remote network, enter the Sydney Cafe subnet, which is 192.168.1.1 with subnet mask /24. Finally, click OK to save the VPN profile. Next, let's explore how Emma can manage her routers remotely, which is crucial when overseeing multiple locations. By enabling remote access on the routers, Emma or her IT support can easily perform maintenance, update settings, troubleshoot issues, or monitor network performance without physically being at either cafe. There are two methods for remotely accessing the router. The first method is to enable Allow Management from the Internet under the Management Settings page. Since both sites have public WAN IP addresses, users can simply enter the WAN IP address into a web browser to access the router remotely. However, for security reasons, it is recommended to disable ping responses from the Internet, change the default management port, and configure an Access Control List or ACL to restrict access. We will cover these security settings later in this video. To allow management from the Internet, go to System Maintenance. Under Management, enable Allow Management from the Internet and tick Disable Ping from the Internet. Click OK to save the settings. Another option is to use a VPN connection. This time, instead of a LAN-to-LAN VPN, we will configure a dial-in VPN. This is a more secure method for remote access because the router management interface is not directly exposed to the Internet. Instead, users must first establish a secure VPN tunnel before accessing the router remotely. Let's create a simple SSL VPN profile for Emma to connect remotely. First, ensure the SSL VPN service is enabled under Remote Access Control. Then go to VPN and Remote Access, Remote Dial-In User. Enable the profile. Select SSL Tunnel for the dial-in user. Create a username and password, then click OK to save the profile. Next, use the Smart VPN client provided by DrayTek to connect to the SSL VPN from anywhere. Go to Profile and click Add. Create a profile name if needed. Select SSL as the VPN type, then enter the WAN IP address of the router and the port number if the default port has been changed. Enter the username and password, then click OK. Head back to the Connection tab and look for the profile you just created. You may need to enter the password again, then click Connect. And voila, you're connected. Notifications help Emma stay informed about important events across her network without constantly monitoring the router. She can configure alerts for internet outages, VPN disconnections, unusual system activity, or hardware issues. When an event occurs, the router can automatically send a notification by email, allowing Emma to respond quickly and minimize disruption to her business. We can also set up email notifications so Emma will receive alerts immediately if the WAN connection at either cafe is lost, the VPN tunnel goes down, a temperature threshold is exceeded, or a login event occurs, helping to ensure minimal downtime. First, let's set up a mail service object. Go to Object Setting, SMS Mail Service Object, Mail Server, Index 1. Give the profile a name, select SMTP Server as the type, and configure the Gmail SMTP server using port 465. Enter the sender email address. Enable SSL, then enter the username and password for authentication. Then, click OK to apply the settings. Next, set up the notification object under Object Setting, Notification Object. Users can configure notifications for WAN status, VPN tunnel status, and other alerts like temperature alerts, WAN budget, high availability, and security events. Then go to Applications, SMS/Mail Alert Service, Mail Alert. Enable Index 1, select the Mail Service profile, then enter the recipient email address and select the notification object. Emma's business is expanding beyond brick and mortar, with plans to sell merchandise online. This means setting up a web server.
Enjoy the perfect blend of cozy charm and delicious treats. Welcome to Emma's Cafe.
Emma's promotional video went viral, and she's now capitalizing on that success by selling branded merchandise such as coffee cups and t-shirts online. To support this, she wants to set up a local web server to host or manage the online store from her own network. Since the cafe's public IP address may change, we will use DrayTek's dynamic DNS service, DrayDDNS, to assign a consistent and easy-to-remember hostname. DrayDDNS is a free service provided by DrayTek, and it has recently been updated to allow hostname renewal every 2 years. To enable DrayDDNS, the router must first be registered to your MyVigor account. Once registered, go to DrayDDNS and click Activate License or Renew License, then follow the steps to activate the DrayDDNS license. After activation, navigate to DrayDDNS domain settings, click the Edit pen icon, and create or modify your DrayDDNS hostname. Next, return to the router and go to Applications, Dynamic DNS. Enable the feature. Then go to Index 1 to edit it. Enable the profile. Select DrayDDNS as the service provider. Choose the WAN interface and the connection type as HTTPS, then click OK. Wait approximately 30 seconds and the domain name registered in MyVigor should appear and sync with the router. To test if DrayDDNS is working, simply open a terminal or command prompt and use the ns lookup command. Type ns lookup followed by your domain name, and it should resolve to your public WAN IP address. To make the web server accessible to customers over the internet, we need to configure a port redirection rule on the router. Port redirection allows incoming requests from the public internet to be securely forwarded to the web server hosted within the local network. We will configure a corresponding port forwarding rule on the router to direct incoming traffic to the web server behind it, ensuring customers can always access the online shop. For example, if the web server is using port 443, HTTPS, you can assign a public port such as 4443 on the router. To create a port redirection rule, go to NAT, Port Redirection, and click on Index 1. Select Single Mode. Give the rule a name. Choose the protocol and WAN interface if required, then enter the public port that will be used. You can also specify a source IP address if you wish to restrict access. Next, enter the web server's IP address in the private IP field and the web server port in the private port field. In this example, incoming traffic on port 4443 will be forwarded to port 443 on the web server. This allows external users to securely access the online shop through the router's public IP address. As Emma's network grows and she connects to the internet for sales, security becomes paramount. Let's cover some essential best practices. We must protect against threats like brute force attacks trying to guess login credentials and distributed denial of service, or DDoS attacks, aimed at overwhelming the network. Always install the latest router firmware, change default management ports, and disable external ping responses to hide your router from simple scans. Utilizing the built-in firewall is essential. It acts as the gatekeeper, controlling traffic flow, blocking malicious requests, and removing any non-used VPN profiles to minimize attack surface. We have successfully tackled the network and security needs for Emma's growing business with 2 locations and an online shop. By implementing a site-to-site VPN, enabling remote management with alerts, setting up a web server with dynamic DNS, and applying strong security practices, Emma's network is ready for growth. Emma is now well prepared for the next steps in her entrepreneurial journey as her connected and secure business continues to expand. Thank you for watching, but please stay tuned. If you have any questions, the DrayTek team will be available in the live chat on the right of your screen for the next 5 minutes. For more information about DrayTek products, please check out our website at draytek.com.au or send us an email to sales@draytek.com.au or give us a call on 029-838-8899. Please like and subscribe below, and if you'd like a notification anytime we put up a new video, please select all from the subscribe drop-down menu as well. Thanks, and bye for now.